Hey class, Dr. Stevens here. I just published module number 5, and I wanted to give you a heads up of the activity that's involved there, the assignment, because it's actually going to be quite involved and you'll need to spend a fair amount of time on it. Anyway, the topic of the module is bias and how it can affect our analysis of a literature review and then also of research findings. Now in the context of this course, we're only concerned with the literature review at this point, but what I need you to do for this particular assignment is pretend that you would be actually conducting research, and in so doing you would interview participants as a part of your research. So what I want you to do is come up with 5 questions that you would ask participants if you were to actually conduct research. Typically, you know, in the interview, depending on what it is that you're trying to learn based on what your research question is and that sort of thing. Okay, so now you're going to pretend that you are a participant and you're going to have someone ask you those 5 questions. So what you need to do is find someone that you can trust, whether it's a friend or a family member, and provide them with the 5 questions that you've written. Give them some context of what it is you're doing so that they don't think that you're involved in some psycho experiment of some kind. Just let them know that it's intended to help you identify if you have any bias in relation to your topic. And then schedule a time to meet with them, either by phone, face-to-face, or using interactive video or something like that, Skype, and have them ask you the questions as you would do if you were interviewing participants. And then have them, they don't necessarily need to write down your answer necessarily, but if they would record their impressions in terms of whether they feel like that you are displaying any bias. If you have a really strong opinion one way or the other, if you have an experience that is affecting your judgment, perhaps anything that's maybe keeping you from being completely objective. And it's okay to have a bias. This is not something that has to be avoided. It just needs to be acknowledged and accounted for. So then after the interview, have a discussion with them, see if you can come to any sort of an agreement as to whether you know there's some bias that exists there and so on, and then you know, if you can get a hold of their notes or whatever, then use that to complete the assignment in terms of the submission part of it. I don't need to know what your answers are to the questions, but I'd like you to submit the questions so that I know what was asked, and then you don't have to provide the answer to those questions to me, but if you just give a general summary. We determined that I have a bias related to this particular part of the topic, just in general terms. And also just a word of caution that this is not meant to be, revealing of any secrets, and it's also meant to be a completely safe activity. So make sure that you are not engaging in any conversation that would cause you or your interviewer any concern or stress or emotional discomfort. This is to be safe, and it's just meant to be an exercise to help you learn a little bit about yourself in relation to your topic, and to help you as you move forward and write a literature review, to be able to account for your bias and recognize it and let your reader know that it exists, so that can be accounted for on the reader's part as well. So anyway, if you have any questions on this, let me know. But this is for week 5. We're currently in week number 4 at the beginning. So you need to be thinking about this and being prepared for it. And because you'll need to schedule some time, and it'll take you a little bit of time to write up your submission. So I would encourage you to be thinking about this now and prepare for this activity for next week. So thanks. Talk to you soon.